Welcome to Mindful Sketching with the Sachem Public Library. Today's program is Holiday Inspiration, New Year, New Goals. I'm Miss Jessica and I'll be working with you today. For today's program, we're going to be using a number of pieces of supplies that are all accessible through the library. We have your basic black pencil. We have some nice drawing and studio pencils as well that come in all different sizes. We have an art eraser. Sometimes the eraser is one of the most important parts of our supplies. A pencil sharpener. I'll be working with a mixed media art sketchbook that we have in the library. Using the Reeves watercolor pencils, it gives us just a lot of options for our drawing today. And then at the end, we're also going to play a little bit with some of our pastel colors, just to bring a little color and joy into our art that we're working on this evening. As we prepare for today's program, I want us to all take a second to visualize what our goals are for the new year. Are there any symbols or items or ideas that come to mind when you think of those goals? I want us to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and take a moment to be thankful for the opportunity that we have today, that we can sit quietly and draw and sketch and calm our minds and have the opportunity to plan and prepare and artistically view our goals for the upcoming 2021 year. As we start our drawing today, let's reflect on the year that passed. How can we grow? How can we improve? How can we be better as we start the 2021? For today's program, we are looking to be inspired by our goals for the next year and the holiday season in general. Today I'm going to be working with our pencils and using a little color today. I wanted to do something a little joyful, so I'm sketching a natural looking tree that maybe has a little holiday cheer to it. So I'm looking for greens. You'll notice that I am putting some lines at the top corner. I just want to find the right colors to go with my drawing, thinking about the colors that represent my sketch. So I'm just putting some lines there at the top before I actually really get into my sketch to make sure that I'm finding the best colors. Our colored pencils that we have here just give us so many options of colors in the rainbow, and you'll see that I've kind of narrowed it down to these two greens that really reflect the pine look that I am going for in our sketch today. So I'm going to begin. And when we begin the sketch, I want us to keep our traditional sketching points. We are going to use the pencil, hold it really lightly, small strokes. We don't want to press down too hard because we're just at this point outlining what it is that we are looking to sketch. So I'm just being really natural with my lines, trying to find that shape. Again, not going too dark. I don't want to commit to any shape just yet. I'm just trying to find the right angles, making sure things match up. And just using my light colored green pencil here to find that shape. As I'm sketching and drawing my tree, I'm going to put some non-lyric music on just to give us some noise or some background music. You are welcome to mute that if you prefer to sketch in silence, but just to add a couple tunes to our sketching as we work on our project. As I'm sketching, you'll see that I'm using short, quick strokes. I am finding those lines for my pine tree that I am sketching, and The short little strokes that I'm using, I'm thinking of each pine needle, each leaf, each little branch that's on a pine tree. And I'm trying to replicate that. So short, quick strokes. And now once I have that outline, I'm gonna look for a different color green. I want to give some dimension to my tree. Each tree in nature is not one singular color, right? There's different shades to the leaves based off environmental factors. So now I'm thickening up that outline. I'm adding a different color green. It has a little bit more of a brown hue to it, something a little more natural, but still following that same stroke. Short and quick. I'm kind of curving it up a little bit to reflect the fluffiness, say, of a Christmas tree or a pine tree. And I'm just adding that extra color to it, okay? I'm looking towards the bottom, and I can see that I'm having some difficulty with my angles at the bottom, so I'm going to just lightly add in the trunk of my tree just to help ground my sketch, find those lines, make sure that I am symmetrical in my drawing. Even though no tree is perfectly symmetrical, I want to just help with my eyes to visualize my final drawing. You'll see with the trunk, I'm adding some natural branches to it. Again, when I think of a pine tree, I think of just green and lush coloring, but we do see some of the branches stick through and some of those brown come through. So I want to add some light branches in, but then go back to my green and start filling in with colors, maybe making my lines a little bit longer as I start to fill in the main part of my tree. And again, using different shades of green, different strokes, really just trying to represent the natural lines that we see with our pine trees. As we're sketching our tree, we should just all take a moment to be thankful for nature and thankful for the opportunity we have today. Being thankful that maybe this calendar year is coming to an end and we have a fresh start for 2021. I know my tree may not, or my sketching today may not be exactly a goal-setting image, but it brings joy and peace to me, and I love the idea of getting out into nature, spending more time outside in 2021. And this tree kind of reflects that, seeing the natural state of colors and being appreciative of the nature around us. See, I'm going back into my colored pencil box. Part of nature is that there isn't just one singular color. Even when we think of the color of pine and a pine tree, there's all different shades of green. So I started off with very much a pine green color. I moved to a more natural color green. And the goal is to bring natural colors into our art today. So I'm working with different color greens. I'm continuing to add those lines in to replicate that bushy fluffiness of a pine tree and all of the pine needles that we may see. See, I'm darkening a little bit towards the bottom of the trunk, thinking of the shadows towards the bottom of my tree, working on balancing the bottom out a little bit, I've noticed that I have some kind of stray lines. You'll see there's some extra stray lines towards the end where not as symmetrical as I would like. This is where the eraser can come in. Notice when I'm erasing in the same direction that my pencil stroke was in. I want the erasing to be just as natural as the sketching. I'm not pressing down too hard. I'm not looking to make an abrupt change. I'm just looking to clean my lines up a little bit, erase away any stray lines that are not aligning with the symmetry of my tree, but just gently erasing, and again, using the eraser in the same flow pattern as I was the pencil to clean up those lines. To help add a little more detail to my sketch today, I'm going to go back to my colored pencils and I'm going to add in just a few Christmas ornaments just to bring a little color to my drawing today. You'll notice that I'm not making the ornaments too large or even that dark. I'm just kind of not putting too much thought into placement of the ornaments, but just want to add some different colors to it. You'll see that I'm noticing that there's a little white showing, maybe some emptiness in my drawing, so I want to just fill in with some more of that green. Again, using 2 shades of green to make it a little bit more natural, adding a little texture with the different colors before I start adding in even more ornaments. And not taking it too seriously. The goal of this is not to sketch the perfect tree, but to just sketch something that we're enjoying and that's a little carefree. So I'll continue to look for some more colors and add additional ornaments. Without a gold star on top, and you'll see I'm using that gold pencil just to add a little illuminating star on the top of my tree. Notice again how I didn't go with a strong line at first. I'm just slight strokes, very lightly, and eventually it will fill into a nice bright star on the top of my holiday tree using that gold pencil. One of the things I love about the mixed media notebooks that we have here in the library is that it gives us an opportunity to use all different types of materials in one sketchbook. So while I use the watercolor pencils, I now am going to be using pastels to basically recreate the same drawing, but just with a little bit of a more color and using a different tool. These mixed media workbooks are also great if you wanted to use any watercolors or even acrylic paints if you felt the need. You'll see here though I'm using our pastels, which are really just kind of like fancy crayons, and they really bring such nice color. Again, you don't have to press down too hard. I'm just finding some lines, adding some texture to my tree using that green pastel. And you'll see how quickly a tree can come together, or any drawing can come together with the pastels because of the vibrant color that it brings to the page. Garland to my tree this time. What's really great about the pastels is that you can really layer on top of one another to have those colors stand out. So even though I'm using a silver pastel, you can really see that garland come onto the page over the green. And once I add the garland in and make it look like it's hanging pretty naturally, I can then start using some of my other colors to add some ornaments and really bring some color to my drawing. To finish up my pastel drawing, I'm going to use that gold pastel to add the star on the top. I'm pressing down a little hard because I really want that gold to stand out. But what I really love about these pastels is how quickly a drawing can come together, how easy it is to add a little color to our art. Just as a reminder, the library has tons of print resources on mindfulness and stress relief, and an art cabinet filled with supplies for teens to use while they're here at the library. And I want to just take a second to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope that 2021 brings you joy and peace, and that you are able to achieve all of your goals in this year. And remember that the Sachem Public Library is here to help you and support you as you embark on those goals. And please stop in and say hello.